UWW-TV Sports Update. The UW Whitewater football team took care of business under the lights last Friday against the UW-Stevens Point Pointers, winning 66-0. As a unit, the Warhawks put together an offensive masterclass after racking up over 612 yards on offense, while the defense held Stevens Point scoreless, limiting them to 124 yards on offense.
I think there's a lot of factors that went into it. First of all, coaches did a great job game planning and the players went out there and executed. But we only had 40 snaps on defense, did a great job on third down, getting off the field. Then our offense really controlled the clock with them running the ball. But, I think it all starts up front with the D-line, linebackers, and then DB's got to make sure they're doing their job with covering the vertical routes. We did that really well on Friday.
Sophomore wide receiver Tyler Vasey set the tone early for the Warhawks, scoring on the opening kickoff of the game. Vasey's kickoff return touchdown is the fourth of his career, adding yet another to a record already held by him in the Warhawk history book. Whitewater's win extends their win streak over the Pointers to 11 straight games and now leads the all-time matchup over Stevens Point 67-35. The Warhawks travel to UW-Platteville to take on the Pioneers for a pivotal WIAC game this weekend. UW Whitewater football returns home November 2nd, where they will host the UW River Falls Falcons. Game time is set for 1 o'clock with UWW-TV going live 30 minutes prior with the Warhawks Sports Saturday. Looking around the WIAC, the UW-Platteville Pioneers lost their first game of the season over the weekend to the UW-Oshkosh Titans, losing 24-17. The UW River Falls Falcons won a tight matchup in overtime against UW Stout, taking down the Blue Devils 40-37. Lastly, the UW Lacrosse Eagles bounced back against UW Eau Claire, taking down the Blue Goats 34-7. We'll be right back with more sports on UWW-TV right after this.
Have you heard of UROC?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here, and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like UROC because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose UROC.
You ready to rock?
You belong here.
The UW Whitewater volleyball team went 2-1 last week, sweeping Carthage College and St. Mary's University at the third UW Whitewater invite this season. The Warhawks lost just their third match of the season, however, to UW Stevens Point in 5 sets. The Warhawks travel to River Falls this Saturday, October 26th, to take on the Falcons at 3 o'clock and McAllister College at 5 o'clock. Whitewater volleyball returns home Wednesday, October 30th to take on UW-Platteville at 7 o'clock, with UWW-TV going live 10 minutes prior with pregame coverage. The men's soccer team went 2-0 last week, picking up wins over Lake Forest 3-1 and UW-Stevens Point 2-1. The men travel to UW-Platteville this Friday, October 25th, to take on the Pioneers in another WIAC matchup. Women's soccer lost last week to UW-Stevens Point on the road, losing to the Pointers 2-1. The women take on UW-Platteville at home Wednesday, October 23rd at 7 o'clock before traveling to UW Stout on Saturday, October 26th to take on the Blue Devils at 2 o'clock. Women's tennis swept the UW-Oshkosh Titans on the road last Saturday 9-0. The women travel to Madison this weekend for the WIAC Women's Tennis Championship, seeking their 18th straight title. Men and women's cross country competed in the Augustana Interregional Invitation over the weekend in Rock Island, Illinois. The women finished 10th out of 35 total teams, whereas the men finished 3rd out of 40 teams. The men and women return home on Friday, October 25th for the Warhawk Open. The women will begin at noon on Friday, with the men starting at 12:45. And finally, women's bowling finished 2nd out of 8 teams at the Warhawk Classic in Rockford, Illinois. The match was the first for new Warhawk bowling head coach Rebecca Hagerman, who comes from Division I Jacksonville State. Hagerman won the national title last year with the Gamecocks while earning Division I Player of the Year honors. Bowling travels to Valparaiso, Indiana this weekend for the Crusader Classic. For other sports news and other updates, tune into UWW-TV.org. I'm Sam Way, and this has been your UWW-TV Sports Update.